Hello student, in this video I am going to discuss about system testing. So in case of system testing there are three types of testing can be done. One is functional testing that validates functional requirements. Second one is performance testing that validates non-functional requirements. Third one is acceptance testing that validates client's expectation. So goal of functional testing is that we need to test all the functional options available for a system. So we need to design those test cases which will be created. Test cases will be designed and created using the requirements analysis document, or you can say user manual, and centered around requirements and key functions, or you can say use cases. So our test cases will be related with the requirements analysis document and centered around requirements and also key functions, or you can say use cases. The system is treated as a black box. So here also the system will be treated as a black box. Unit test cases can be reused. Here again we can reuse the unit testing test cases, but new test cases have to be developed as well. But along with that, the unit testing cases, we need to develop new test cases for functionality testing of a system. In case of performance testing, we try to violate non-functional requirements, like test how the system behaves when overloaded. Suppose you are developing a system and there are some functional requirements and non-functional requirements, and suppose for your system some limitations are there, then you can test. In case of performance testing, you can test whether the system will work when the system will be putted or will be thrown into a overload situation, or can we identify the bottlenecks. So in that case we need to redesign the, if we can find the bottlenecks in the system by putting that system in an overloading situation, then we might have to redesign some issues, some iterations, or some candidates, like that. Again we can go for like try unusual order of execution, call a receive before send. What type of execution will occur if you send some unusual order of execution? Suppose you are sending a receive call before sending call from a system. Check the system's response to large volumes of data. Again you can check the system's response by providing a large volume of data. If the system is supposed to handle 1000 items, then if you input 1001 items, how that system will behave, that is also considered as performance testing. Again, what is the amount of time spent in different use cases? So creating different types of use cases, you can also understand what amount of time will be required or what amount of time will be spent for each new test cases, and in that way you will understand the performance of the system. So there are various types of performance testings are here. One is stress testing, that is stress limits of system. Volume testing, test what happens if large amounts of data are handled. Configuration testing, that is test the various software and hardware configurations. Compatibility testing, testing backward compatibility with existing system, whether your developed system works in different OS or not, like that. Timing testing, evaluate response times and time to perform a function for different types of use cases or test cases. Security testing, try to validate security requirements. That also one type of performance testing. There is also environmental test, test the tolerance for heat, humidity, motion of the system, because your system will be work on a hardware platform. So if due to your system you need to check how much environmental parameters changed in the hardware, like the tolerance for heat, humidity, motions, like that. Quality testing, obviously you need to go for quality testing in case of your system development, whether you need to test the reliability of your system, you need to test the maintainability or availability of your system. Next one is recovery testing. You need to test systems response to presence of errors or loss of data. Somehow your system might lost some data, then you need to test how that system will recover that data or back up that data, and how the system will overcome the errors. Human factors testing, test with end users. You can test the system with end users to understand the human factors or human errors. So third one is acceptance testing. In case of acceptance testing, we try to, our goal is that demonstrate system is ready for operational use. So main goal is that we need to demonstrate that system is ready for operational use for users. So our choice of test is made by client. So in this scenario of acceptance testing, the choice of test cases is made by the client. Many tests can be taken from integration testing. So here in case of acceptance testing, many test cases can be taken from integration testing. Acceptance test is performed by the client, not by the developer. Try to understand this point. Acceptance test is for the client actually, that is why it is performed by the client, and acceptance test is not for the developer, so it does not perform by the developer. There are two types of acceptance testing are there. One is alpha testing, second one is beta testing. In case of alpha testing, client uses the software at the developer's environment. Software used in a control setting with the developer always ready to fix bugs. So that is actually this alpha testing and beta testing is depending upon the environment of the how you are going to test or where you are going to test the software. So if you are going to test the software in the developer's environment, if the client use the software or test the software at the developer's environment, then obviously in the developer's environment the software will get the control testing and software will get the developer's environment, and with the developers always ready to fix the bugs. So that is a control environment. But another one is beta testing, where client will conduct the testing without the presence of the developer. So that in that scenario, that environment will not be controlled by the developer. So software gets a realistic workout in that target environment. So in that beta testing, the software or the system will get a realistic exercise or workout or practice in a target environment. So testing has many activities, like you need to establish the test objectives, then you need to design the test cases, write the test cases, then test the test cases, execute the test, evaluate the test results, change the system, do regression testing, like that. So these are the different types of activities associated with the testing phase. So in a test team, suppose you are going to test the system, then you need to create a team of tester, where there might be professional tester might be available, there might be analyst involved in the test team. User also will be play a very important role. There is also configuration management specialist, system designer. But in that test team, programmer will not be there because they have written the code. So there is no need to include programmer in the test team, because they already know the codes, and that will not help in case of testing. In case of testing and what you are going to achieve by the testing phase. So mainly in case of testing, there are 4 testing steps are there. We need to select what has to be tested, then we need to analyze completeness of requirements, design the cohesion, implementation about the source code. So you need to implement the source code, you need to design the cohesion. Cohesion means how the modules are correlated And analysis is completeness of the requirements, whether your system has completed all the requirements. And second step is that decide how the testing is done. You need to decide how the testing will be done. You need to first go for review or code inspection, then proofs designed by contract, then go for black box, white box testing, then go for select integration testing strategy, big bang, bottom up, top down, sandwich. Then in the third scenario, develop the test cases. A test case is a set of test data or situation that will be used to exercise the unit class, subsystem, system, and which will be being tested, or about the attribute being measured. And in the fourth one, create the test oracle. An oracle contains the predicate or predicted results for a set of test cases. The test oracle has to be written down before the actual testing takes place. So guidance for a test case selection is that use analysis knowledge about functional requirements like black box testing. You need to use the use cases, expected input data, invalid input data. These analysis need to be made beforehand before using the black box testing. This is just an example for black box. For any other testing also, you need to understand the use cases or test cases. You need to understand the expected input data, or you need to understand the what are the invalid input data first. And the second was that use the design knowledge. You need to use the design knowledge about system structure, algorithms, data structures. In case of white box testings, you need to understand previously about control structure like the loops, while loops, if conditions, else conditions, like that. You need to also understand, or you need to have the knowledge about the data structures like test records, fields, arrays. All those things need to be in your mind or in your documents, so that only you can go for white box testing. This is just an example. For other testing also, this type of information is very much required. In case of, again, in the third point is that you need to use the implementation knowledge about algorithms and data structures. Like force a division by 0 cannot be done if the upper bound of an array is 10. Then if you use 11 as an index, that will not happen. So this type of algorithm and data structure knowledge or implementation knowledge is required in case of testing. So as a summary, we can say that testing is still a black art, but many rules and heuristics are available. Testing consists of, basically we are already discussed about unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and acceptance testing. There is also design patterns can be used for integration testing. Testing has its own life cycle. So that's it about testing. We'll try to give some more about testing for another one video about more info about testing. And again, we'll try to complete the syllabus within 1 or 2 cycle. So please try to go through the context, whatever we are discussing in the video about the testing. And if you find any difficulty, or if you have any confusion and doubt, please let me know. We'll try to resolve it over Google Meet. Thank you.